Hey everyone, and welcome. We're not going to learn a bunch of new grammar rules today. Nope. Instead, we're going to unlock a secret, how to take the English you already know and make it sound less like a textbook and more, well, more like a real fluent speaker.
So let me ask you something. Does this sound familiar? You've done the work, you know the rules inside and out, but your English just feels a little stiff, right? A bit rigid. Your sentences are grammatically perfect, but they're missing that flow, that sophistication. It's a super common hurdle for advanced learners. And you know what? Today, we are going to build a bridge right over it.
So here's the big secret. Advanced grammar is not about learning 1,000 new rules. It's about taking the exact same building blocks you already have and using them in way more dynamic, interesting ways. Just look at the difference here. The basic version is just fact, fact, fact. Kind of choppy, right? But the advanced one? Now that tells a story. It weaves all those ideas into one smooth, elegant thought. And that is the leap we're going to make together today.
Okay, so where do we start? Well, just like building a house, you gotta have a solid foundation. And in any sentence, that foundation is always gonna be your nouns and verbs. So let's dive in, but we're gonna look at them with a fresh, more advanced eye.
All right, here's our first pro move. You know how we're always taught that nouns are just people, places, or things? Well, get this. They can actually pull double duty. They can act like adjectives. Think about it. You could say the policy of the school. And it's okay, I guess, but it's a bit clunky. A native speaker would just say, school policy. Boom. See what happened there? The noun school is now describing policy. It's so much cleaner, so much more efficient. And honestly, it's a huge telltale sign of real fluency.
Okay, now let's talk verbs. This is all about making a strategic choice. Look at these two sentences. The teacher explained the lesson. That's active voice. It's direct, to the point, and all eyes are on the teacher. But then you have, the lesson was explained clearly. That's passive. And suddenly it feels more formal, more objective, and the focus is shifted entirely to the lesson itself. The key thing here is that neither one is wrong. They just do different jobs. And advanced speakers, they make this choice on purpose every single time.
All right, so we've got the foundation, our nouns and verbs. Think of that as the black and white sketch of our sentence. Now it's time to add the color, the details, the stuff that really makes it pop. And for that, of course, we need our adjectives and adverbs.
Okay, this next one, this is one of my absolute favorite tricks because it's just so powerful. You're basically taking an action word, a verb, and you're magically turning it into a description. So, for example, a project isn't just something that challenges you, it is challenging. A window isn't a thing that someone broke, it's simply a broken window. You're basically taking a whole clunky phrase and just poof, compressing it into one single elegant descriptive word. It's amazing.
You can really see the effect, right? The broken window just sounds so much better, so much more natural than the window that was broken. And check out the word challenging. That's not just another word for hard. It implies a test, a hurdle to overcome. It adds this whole new layer of meaning, of nuance. And believe me, it's these tiny, precise word choices that will absolutely elevate your English.
Now, adverbs. Don't underestimate these guys. Their placement can completely change everything. Let's take a simple sentence. She checked the report. Okay, boring. Now, let's add the adverb carefully. But where we put it matters. A lot. If you say, she carefully checked the report, you're focused on how she did it, the process. But if you say, she checked the report carefully, the emphasis shifts to the end result, that the report is now in a carefully checked state. It's a tiny, tiny shift in word order, but it totally changes the focus. How cool is that?
Okay, so we've got our foundation and we've painted the walls. But now we need to actually connect the rooms, right? We need to make it all flow together. And that is the job of what I like to call the logical glue of our sentences, prepositions and conjunctions.
So, prepositions. This is where things get tricky at the advanced level. Because, honestly, the simple rules kind of go out the window. They start becoming part of these fixed idiomatic phrases. You're responsible for something. You succeed in something. You're interested in something else. There's no real why to memorize here. You just have to absorb them through practice and listening. And when you start getting these right, that's one of the biggest signs you've gone from just studying English to really using it.
And then we have conjunctions. I want you to think of these as the road signs for your sentences. They literally tell your listener what's coming next. Yet tells them, hey, a contrast is coming. Although gave signals, okay, there was a problem, but we overcame it. And because obviously signals a reason. When you pick the perfect conjunction, you make your logic impossible to misunderstand. It's crystal clear.
Okay,
We've looked at the core pieces, the colorful details, and the glue that holds it all together. Now for the grand finale. Let's put it all into practice and see how these different elements work together to build one single powerful professional sentence.
And here it is. Just take a second and read that. It just flows, doesn't it? It's descriptive, it's logical, it's clear. Everything we've been talking about is in this one sentence, all working together in perfect harmony. So you ready? Let's take it apart piece by piece.
Just look at the architecture of this thing. We kick it off with although. That's our conjunction that frames the whole idea as a contrast. Then we sprinkle in our adjectives. Challenging, that's our cool participial adjective, and dedicated to add that rich detail. Of course, we've got our core nouns and verbs, the foundation. And then the final touch, the adverb efficiently, telling us how they did the work. See, every single word here is pulling its weight. Nothing is wasted.
So, as we start to wrap this up, what's the big idea I want you to walk away with? It's not some new rule, and it's definitely not another list of things to memorize. No, it's much bigger than that. It's about a complete shift in your mindset, in how you even think about grammar. And I want to be super clear here. If you are serious about getting past that textbook English sound, you have got to stop thinking of grammar as just a bunch of rules to avoid mistakes. That's the old way. That's the beginner's mindset. Here's the new way, the advanced mindset. Grammar isn't a rule book, it's a toolkit. Every part of speech, nouns, verbs, adverbs, is a different tool. And you are the artist. You get to pick the right tool for the job to build the exact meaning you want. It's all about making smart, intentional choices to become a powerful, clear, and professional communicator. So I'll leave you with this question. What's the first choice you're going to make to upgrade your English? Maybe you'll try throwing in a participial adjective this week, or maybe you'll focus on picking a more precise conjunction in your next email. Whatever it is, just remember, the real path to fluency starts not with a new rule, but with a new choice. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer.